So when we had the Common Core standards come in, we started hearing about these rigors for kindergarten, which was concerning to me as a parent. But my children are almost 2 years apart, and I saw the difference in kindergarten between my oldest son and my younger son. And they had half-day kindergarten, and they had a wonderful teacher, and she actually helped me with this bill because she started to see how the curriculum had changed and how much stress was being placed on these children. They didn't have time. When Buddy was in kindergarten, they did a play called, the Nutcracker play at Christmas time, and they did a wonderful job. They had time to play outside. They had more creativity. When Seamus came up, it was really all about math and reading and making sure that they ticked off these boxes, and they really lost the socialization of class. And I think because we've lost some components of creativity and socialization, we're starting to see more problems with bullying and things on the playground. And so when the governor had the push for all-day kindergarten, I became more concerned about the stresses and the rigors on these kids for a full day. And when that legislation originally went through, I tried to amend it to say that there would be an option for parents who needed half-day for their kids, because not everyone's ready for it. Some kids are still technically four when they enter, kindergarten, turning 5 during September. Other kids are almost 6, so there's a big swing there. I also tried to get play-based in at that time, and I got half of it. I got a component that says if parents go to the principal, they can have the half-day kindergarten. I don't know if all parents are aware of that when they're starting their children, but that is the law. That is up to them if they want to have the half-day if your school offers full day. You can still say, I'd like to have my child in for only half of a day. The play-based was killed, though. I was actually pretty beat up for wanting to have play-based kindergarten in there. I did a thing on Close-Up, and Adam Sexton really started the ball rolling with the conversation, because when I first introduced it, and there were little bits and pieces in the paper, people started emailing me saying I didn't know what I was talking about. Kindergarten's always been play-based, because they thought that it was what it still was. And so the conversation started happening, and then I started talking to colleagues that were involved in education, and Mary Guile was a big advocate for play-based, and we worked together. It was a bipartisan bill that we put in, and this year it got so much support because I think people were really starting to talk about it and realize the changes that had happened. So it passed the House on a vote it passed my committee unanimously, and passed the House on a vote of 328 to 8. So I think people were really ready for it this year, and they really understood what had happened and why we needed to pull it back. I think the biggest component is going to be the movement in the classroom, and this is why we're doing the training. The DOE is doing the training. We really need administrators to understand, because teachers are all on board. I've gotten so much positive feedback really from across the country about this program. People are watching it nationally. So there are videos that have been released from the New Hampshire Department of Education to help teachers and administrators, but there's also things out there from Dr. Wisniewski, who's one of the premier people in play-based education in the country that I've had conversations with. She actually helped us with a conference call to get these things sorted out so we did it the right way. And right now, kids are sitting in a classroom at centers, and they work at a center, and then they kind of shift, and it's quiet, and this isn't going to be as quiet. These kids aren't going to be sitting all day. They're going to be engaging each other. They're going to be building. They're going to be using their hands. They're going to be experimenting. They're going to be outdoors more. And it's really the way that kindergarten was intended to be. Kindergarten means a child's garden, and it was intended to be movement and outdoors, and just let them be creative and let the teachers see who they are and where their strengths are. At the same time, recognize where their weaknesses are so they can give them, some guidance in that direction. So I think that's going to be, the biggest thing the biggest adjustment, I think, for the schools, for teachers to understand kids out of the chair is okay, and for the administrators to understand kids out of the chair is okay.